Good morning, San Francisco 49ers fans and fantasy football fans. I'm Jason Aponte. This is Fantasy Football Start Sit for Week 5. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. It's got football on the screen right now. The Browns are up 17-14. Jordan Mason fumbled. Can't find that anywhere, right? It's hard to replace that. Um, Either way, I shout out to 49ers throwback. Hit that like button and subscribe. Notification faithful. Thank you for joining. Have a great Sunday. Shout out to you. I wanted to start with some 49ers news actually. So Adam Schefter went on ESPN today and said that Bucky Irving is likely out next week as well. So what does that mean? Obviously the 49ers play the Tampa Bay Bucks. No Mike Evans, no Bucky Irving for that game. We're going to find out what the 49ers injury situation is and who they're returning, whether it be Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings. We found out yesterday it's not going to be George Kittle. But I don't want anyone to start to, strike up the band because Bucky Irving's not playing and neither is Mike Evans. It's really more about Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka. Like you still have to, not overlook these guys. And obviously I'm 49ers don't listen to me or anything like that. I'm just saying this isn't exactly like a slam dunk. Rashad White is a very capable backup. And if you have him, happy Rashad White week this week. You're playing him, obviously. But this isn't something that you should just say, hey, 49ers should roll against the Bucks, right? And I don't think the 49ers are going to overlook them, but it's not as simple as all like, hey, Mike Evans and Bucky Irving are out. Now the 49ers roll. I think Godwin, Ibuka, Rashad White, Sean Tucker, Cade Otton, these are all guys that they'll still be able to get involved, right? Johnson as well, too. Like the Bucks are gonna be fine offensively. So we don't wanna, jump out the window or anything like that. But either way, the quick 49ers update. Make sure you guys send in your questions. Make sure you send the format. Let's do this. And if you want to let me know how I've been doing these last few weeks, please leave a comment and hold me accountable because I need to be held accountable. And that'll help me, get better for you guys. And, as much as I like telling you when I get things right, I'd love to know when I get it wrong. Because I want to be accountable and I want to be, I want to make sure that I'm celebrating my wins and taking and taking my L's graciously and humbly. So I've got to do that. So, but yes, this weekend is going to be stress free for most of us. I mean, obviously we have our fantasy football teams, we have our parlays, things like that, but the 49ers can't lose today. So who are we fans of today? We're fans of the Bucks. We're fans of the Tennessee Titans, hoping that those two teams can beat the NFC West teams and the 49ers can move up even further. I mean, they're already in first place, but you hope that another thing too is kind of the reason that, I mean, obviously the reason that I want the Bucks to win is to knock off Seattle, but I also want the Bucks to win so they don't come into the game off of a loss, if that makes sense. Like, I'd rather them feel good about them winning than have to try to get right against the 49ers, if that makes sense. Meaning I'd rather them have not this me against the world stuff or whatever. Like, that stuff is powerful. It was really interesting to hear that Kyle Shanahan went to Mac Jones before the game and they were like, "Can you believe that they got an 8.5 spread on us? Like, doesn't that make you angry?" I like stuff like that, like the whole me against the world stuff. Like, I like that, and a lot of teams should use that more than anything. So, but yeah, guys, send in your questions, drop a like on this video and everything as well too. Not too much 49ers content coming from me today. Obviously, just gonna be watching the games and trying to figure out what these wins and what these teams look like for the 49ers. It's a information gathering weekend for this. So, all right, Amin the Dream, shout out to you, buddy. It's good to see you, man. Should I start Ted McMillan or Tyler Warren at my flex? I'm going Ted. Tyler Warren has slowed down a little bit this week, but you're still sticking with Ted. You have to also think about this too. Carolina is down Chuba Hubbard. Rico Dowdles is starting. So I would say that they're probably gonna lean on the pass a little bit more. So yeah, I would say Ted. It's good to see you, buddy. I hope everything's well with you. Um, Real quick too, some stash candidates, right? Like the strategy that I tell you guys about. If you have a bench spot that you're rotating and you're flipping out, guys that I'm picking up and trying to stash before something happens. Brashad Smith from Kansas City. they kind of talked about trying to get them going. That running game is putrid. So they're trying to figure out a way to get that going. Brashad Smith can catch passes. So that's somebody that I would like to stash right now. Isaiah Davis is somebody else from the Jets that I'm stashing. Now that you have, Breece and just him basically in that backfield with Braylon Allen being out for a long time, I want to stash Isaiah Davis just in case something happens to Breece Hall. And another one, Trevor Etienne with Rico Dowdle starting today. Obviously, we don't know the extent of the injury with Chuba Hubbard. Might just be a 1 week thing, but you want to be proactive. And again, if nothing happens at 1 o'clock, then just drop them. Like if you can. So these are the people that I'm looking to look on my waiver wire to try to pick up. For instance, the strategy that I had today was I picked up Isaiah Bond from Cleveland to see what it looks like, and it looks bad with Dylan Gabriel. So you know what? I dropped him and I picked up Isaiah Davis. Like, that's how I want to do this. So you always want to be ahead and try to stash other people, right? If you're down Brock Bowers this week, who's out, you've got to really kind of scramble right now on the waiver wire and see who's there. Tommy Tremble is somebody that I would look at in a pinch because he had a touchdown last week against the Patriots without Jatavian Sanders. So he might be the guy. So if you're in a pinch because of Brock Bowers, I hope you're preparing all week for it. If you have to pick somebody up now, you put Brock Bowers in your IR. I would definitely say, Tommy Tremble, somebody you could pivot to in a pinch. Because most likely your waiver wire is barren. Like, there's nobody available, and all the high upside stash candidates are probably gone. So you got to go with somebody like that. So let's see. Ozzy says Isaiah Likely's not on he's not on waiver wires, unfortunately. Daniel, people have been picking him up. Like, it was smart to do last week. I do not trust Geno Smith, Myers, or Brian Thomas Jr. My God, man, the Brian Thomas thing is just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. I'm starting him because I have to. You kind of hope that sometimes you don't, but man, Geno's so volatile. But Brian Thomas against Kansas City. And then Jacoby Myers against Charvarius Ward. Man, this is no good option here, right? Like, Charvarius Ward's been lights out for the Colts. And he's probably going to be the one that's on Myers. For the most part, like I know you saw against Washington, my God, Trey Tucker, 3 touchdowns, and you're just like, that doesn't help anybody. Nobody's starting him. I'll still roll Brian Thomas Jr. here. When it's a situation like this, Kansas City has a good defense, the Colts have a good defense, and Charvarius Ward's going to follow Myers. The coin flip is who's the better player. And that's what I'll do with Brian Thomas. But I'm sorry that it's come down to this, Ozzy. But yeah, I'll go with Brian Thomas Jr. What a world that we live in. It's week 5, and you're even considering Jacoby Myers over Brian Thomas Jr., who was supposed to be a slam dunk this season. Good to see you, Cynthia. Do I go with Hunter Henry, or should I stream a tight end? Keenan Allen, Khalil Shakir, or Jameson Williams. Okay, so I would stick with Hunter Henry. He's been doing fine for you. He's underrated, and absolutely, he's definitely not on any waiver wires. I would go with Hunter Henry and just keep it that way. And Keenan Allen, Khalil Shakir, or Jameson Williams. So Keenan Allen has been incredible. My goodness, what a career renaissance. And as soon as he gets back with Justin Herbert, he looks great. I'm just gonna look at the matchup real quick. Keenan Allen against Washington. Let's see. And then Jameson against Cincinnati. Whew, that Bengals defense is atrocious. I'll tell you this. Look, if you're looking for a floor, Keenan Allen. If you want the boom, the high upside, then Jameson. That Bengals defense is awful. And they're going to be on the field a ton because their offense is awful. So, yeah, Keenan Allen for the floor. Like, if you need a solid 8, 9, 10 points, Keenan Allen. If you're looking for 20, 25, Jameson. So it depends on what you need, Cynthia. That's what I'd say. Daniel says, I had picked up Matt, but Saddam, I got to roll with Geno. I had Mac Jones, and I started Mac Jones. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns later, Did you guys hear the crazy story that he saw a dead body floating in front of his hotel before the game? Like you really can't make anything up right now in 49ers land. Mac Jones is on target to go for this game on Thursday, and he finds a dead body floating, and he calls the police, and he's a part of an investigation. Like, what the hell is going on with the 49ers this season? That had to be one of the most crazy things. Well, the only other crazy thing is the Mark Sanchez stuff, which I guess we found out that he's a nut job. But oh my God, the Mac Jones stuff is nuts, man. Like, it is crazy. But yeah, I had Brock Purdy in that league, and it's a super flex league, but I picked up Mac, and because I was so bullish on the 49ers the entire week, why wouldn't I start him? Why wouldn't I start him? And that's the way I was thinking about it. Like, if I'm going to talk the talk, I'm going to walk the walk and start him. Yeah, the Mark Sanchez thing. So you hear Mark Sanchez is stabbed, and you think, oh my God, a robbery. And then you find out he's the one who started it. The guy was defending himself, and now he gets arrested. He's been charged with 3 crimes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know what the hell is going on with him. I'm not going to say CTE. Apparently he was intoxicated. But imagine starting a fight, losing the fight, going to the hospital, and then getting arrested when you wake up. Just an insane turn of events for Mark Sanchez, who was literally in Indianapolis to call the game at 1 o'clock. Incredible. I mean, you can't make this up. You really can't make this stuff up. He's probably going to lose his job. So that's it. He's done with Fox. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Should I go with Geno or CJ Stroud and JMO or flex? All right. So CJ Stroud against the Baltimore Ravens defense that was awful already and is literally missing everyone. If not this week, then when? So Stroud, right? Like, if Stroud can't get it done against this Baltimore defense that was already bad, which I had no idea they were going to be this bad. I really, really had high hopes for them. And now, no Roquan Smith, no Matabike, no Kyle Hamilton. Like, all these guys are out. Stroud. Now, JMO or Debo. Debo's going to eat. Debo's been incredible this season. Good for him. I hope Debo knows how much I miss him every single day. I'm going to go Debo here. And Jaden Daniels is back. He was named, if you want a sign of something, he was named offensive captain this week. And he wasn't supposed to play all week. They're gonna get him involved. So I'm gonna go Debo here. Shout out to Debo, man. Hell yeah. Grant says, yo man, what's up? Juwan Johnson or stream Mason Taylor or Theo Johnson full PPR. So I want to stay away from Juwan Johnson this week because Taysom Hill's back. That's annoying. That's really annoying. And this is a good call on Mason Taylor or Theo Johnson. Like, if you're in a pinch and you're missing Brock Bowers, and I mentioned Tommy Tremble, either one of these guys would be good to go with. This one's tough. Mason Taylor, Theo Johnson. I'm gonna give the nod to Mason Taylor here because of that Dallas defense. Now, it's volatile. I think both of these options are volatile based on the fact that we don't know what this offense is going to be. Like, Justin Fields can be great one week and then awful the next week, and it can tank the whole offense. The only person it doesn't tank ever is Garrett Wilson, who's been awesome. But I'm going to go Mason Taylor here. He seems to be building it up. They're getting there, and I think, Fields is going to lean on him a little bit, and the matchup's just better because Dallas can't stop a nosebleed. But Theo Johnson's a good call, man. I've been starting him. I have him on a dynasty league. I've been starting him out of necessity, and I've been fine with the 8 points or whatever it is. So, okay. So this is good. This is good context here. I also have Breece Hall, so I lean a little more to Theo, but I love Taylor's matchup. Now, I absolutely understand this strategy. I don't want too many people from the same offense, because if the offense goes in the tank, then everybody's in the tank and you've sunk your whole week. I really like this. And if that's the way that you're thinking about it, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that at all, because it's either it's who's it going to be? Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. Justin Fields is going to run, and they're going to run a bunch of plays for him as well too. You're investing too much in an offense, but it is a great matchup, and Dallas does stink on defense. But I don't have a problem with this, Grant. I think this is a good way to look at it, and I've made decisions based on this as well too. Let's see. Morning, Jason. Christian Kirk or Ridley, second flex PPR. No Bijan Bucky for me. Christian Kirk. I don't want to play Calvin Ridley. I don't. And Will Johnson's back this week. Arizona's defense is better. I'd have to see it from Calvin Ridley before I can put it. I'm gonna go Christian Kirk against that banged up defense. I think CJ Stroud is set up, and I think the Texans offense is set up. So I'll go Christian Kirk here. Yeah, and Bijan. Yeah, like I looked up in week 5 and I saw all of my studs had bye weeks, and I'm like, no, like I drafted too many guys that week 5. So, Grant, yeah. So earlier to start, I talked about Tommy Tremble, and that was the guy for the people who have Brock Bowers and they have to pivot now because he was off. I like Tremble. I think he's gonna get involved. You know, he had a touchdown last week. That would be the guy, if you're talking about these two, that I would lean. If you're telling me between Taylor, Tremble, Johnson, Ingram, I'm probably gonna say Tremble. And I know that seems like a little bit of a hot take, but again, no Jatavian Sanders, and they're gonna throw the football to him. So yeah, I like Tommy Tremble, man. I've been kind of singing his praises earlier on the show. So yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's tough because you have to look at all the matchups, but I really really like that talking point about investing too much into one offense, because if that offense goes in the shitter, then your whole week is done. But it is Dallas, and I expect the Jets to be fine in this game. And I'm always gonna root for Justin Fields. You know that. So yeah, and exactly, especially the Jets, right? And yeah, week 5 bye is crazy. Like, so I'm in Scott Fishbowl, and I don't know if you guys are aware of the scoring. The scoring is ridiculous in that it's like 3.5 per catch for tight ends, and you get points per carry, points per first down, points per target for each running back. So, and it's all flexes, super flex. So it's two super flexes and all flexes, right? So while everybody's like scrambling to go get tight ends and everything, I'm not seeing the tight ends that I want. So I just pivoted to, hey, I'm just gonna start taking all the best wide receivers that are on the board. So my first pick was Saquon Barkley, but I drafted Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith, George Pickens, you know, uh, Drake London, DJ Moore. I drafted Ayuk to just have him and stash him. And then the only other running back that I took was Jalen Warren. And then I went on the back end and I took some tight ends just to Elijah Arroyo, Noah Gray, and Zach Ertz. But for the most part, I just been starting, Flowers and Higgins and all these guys and I'm 7-1. And if you're asking why am I 7-1 through 4 weeks, it's you're playing your opponent and then you're playing the median score. So you have a chance to win once. It's like a way of rewarding people who put together great lineups but have bad luck that they're facing the best lineup that week, right? Like, how many times have you guys seen that you would have beaten every single other team except the one that you played? So it's a way to reward that. So that's why. So essentially we've played 8 games through 4 weeks. So that's why I'm 7-1. But this week I'm missing DJ Moore, Drake London, and I was like, oh no, like I have to pivot to like Troy Franklin, and I have to start Zach Ertz this week. Hopefully that tight end bonus comes in handy for me. But yeah, that week 5 bye is crazy. Because of how many good players are not available. So shout out to all you guys in here. Drop a like, drop a sub if you're new here as well, guys. Appreciate all you guys. If you wanted more 49ers talk, it sounds like Bucky Irving and Mike Evans are going to miss next week. That is helpful, but it's not. It doesn't mean that this is a cakewalk for the Bucks against the Bucks. So you want to make sure that you're understanding that. And if you have Rachaad White, you're very happy. Another person that I would say to pick up and stash, besides, obviously Rachaad White's going to get the start. That's who everybody wants. Sean Tucker, who, when Bucky was out last year, it was Tucker and not White that went crazy. Now, I believe that Rachaad White is going to play a ton, and they're not going to take him off the field. They were trusting him when Bucky was there. But Sean Tucker is somebody that you want to pick up just in case. Again, if we're talking about stashes, Sean Tucker, Brashard Smith, Trevor Etienne, all of those guys that you just want to see. Isaiah Davis, You want to see what happens. And again, if they don't do anything, then just drop them. You don't have to. You can keep playing that game if your league allows it. If your platform allows it. So I'm on sleeper. That allows it. I can drop people mid game. If they're on my bench, and I can pick people up. Averly. Shh. So I wanna pass that along because it's better to be proactive when it comes to that stuff, and you don't want to have to fight people for on the waiver wire next week, right? So for me, I always I always do that where I don't draft my handcuff, I draft someone else's handcuff to kind of really raise the ceiling of my team. Meaning, like, if you drafted Aaron Jones and then you drafted Jordan Mason, you kind of wasted a pick because I would just draft Mason. I was trying to stay away from Aaron Jones the entire time, but I would have just drafted Mason because then you could go with somebody else who's much more valuable at that pick. And in the same way, I drafted Rashad White, and I kept him on my bench and I waited, and now it's my time. So when you're drafting handcuffs, when you're looking at handcuffs, like don't draft your handcuff. You're capping your ceiling because you're locking yourself into one team situation. You want to make sure you raise that ceiling by diversifying your investments and all that stuff. So yeah, just good advice all the way. And yeah, let's go Bucks. And so we are all Bucks and Titans fans today. And that would be really helpful. But again, the other reason that I want the Bucks to win is because I don't want them coming into that Niners game on a loss and starting to play desperate, like back against the wall. Like, I'd rather they win that game and they feel good about themselves. Maybe they kind of sleep on the Niners a little bit, and then, but if they lose, they're gonna have their head on a swivel. I don't want that. I'd rather they lollygag through a game, maybe come out flat, like something like that. Just 1 second, guys. All right, guys. Shout out to you. 22 minutes. If you have any more questions, please send them in about your fantasy teams. It's 12:22. We're getting closer. If you guys are good, I'm good. I'm just gonna stick around as long as you guys need me. If you're gonna be sending in any questions or anything like that. But yeah, I talked about the guys that you want to pick up and you want to stash. And if you're missing Brock Bowers, Tommy Tremble's a good choice, and I'm glad that Grant brought it up. Mason Taylor, Theo Johnson, those are guys that you can find readily available, most likely on your waiver wire, and you can run with and play this week. Especially, Mason Taylor feels like a really good matchup if you're pressed against the wall because of Dallas, right? But if you're skeptical, I don't blame you because the Jets can go any number of ways here. The only person that's a constant is Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's like the number 4 PPR wide receiver. He's been incredible. Um, I don't think Darren Waller's available anywhere. They're all everybody's on him, man. That's over. I looked in all my leagues and he's been gone. I mean, I don't need a tight end, but I was just trying to look through it. So, I mean, I guess if Darren Waller's available, go ahead. But I haven't seen him available. I think everybody kind of jumped on that, especially now with Tyreek down. Yeah, yeah, he's gonna be far more involved. I think everybody was kind of on him this week for the waivers wires. All right. Daniel says Chargers or Chiefs defense today. Well, the Chiefs play Monday night, and the Chargers are, let's see. Didn't we just say the Chargers are facing Detroit? No. No, 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 no. The Chargers are facing, because I'm starting Keenan Allen, Washington. Ooh. I'd probably stick with the Chiefs defense. Um, it's hard with the Chargers because I think they have a great defense, but then you play them against the Giants and Jackson Dart goes out there and throws it all over the yard and runs a bunch. I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs here. The Jacksonville offense is meh. Like I know what they did to the 49ers. I'm not saying that. And they can run the football, but I do think they're gonna be a little revitalized Monday night game. I'd roll with the Chiefs here. When Jaden Daniels is on the field, I'm trying to stay away from a guy who can really dice you up. I'm not as scared at Trevor Lawrence doing that. So, good call, Greg. I had Bowers and grabbed Tremble earlier in the week. Yeah. Ozzy says, "Hey Jason, the team I'm playing this week just swapped his defense to the Colts. I'm starting Jancy. Should you go back to Myers or would you stick with Brian Thomas Jr.?" All right, so yeah, you definitely have to start Jancy. I'm not not a fan of the matchup really, but you know, you got to chase the volume, right? And he swapped his defense to the Colts. I don't think that should really change anything for you. You're like, don't let someone else's decision, you know, influence your own. I would, again, just think of it this way. And I understand why he's picking the Colts up, because Geno Smith is a turnover machine. But just think about the matchup itself. Charvarius Ward is going to follow Myers, and he's been lights out. We all know this. So let's use that information. And even though I'm telling Daniel Averly, even though I'm telling Daniel to play Kansas City's defense against Jacksonville, you still have to chase the talent, right? Like, and I still believe that they're going to try to get him involved. There's a path for the Chiefs defense to play very well and Brian Thomas to still like, if you're going to ask me who's going to score more points this week, I'd probably say Brian Thomas Jr. Because I just don't want Jacoby Myers if Charvarius Ward is chasing him around. He's just been too good, and that Colts defense is very good. And again, if Geno shits the bed, that kills the entire week, and that's what he's thinking by putting in the Colts. So I wouldn't let that change your thought process at all. So, all right, Godwin or Diggs, man. I'm going to say Godwin just because the better offense. I know it's a worse matchup. It's just you can't trust Stephon Diggs right now. You just can't. And it's, you know, it seems like Drake May likes Kayshon Boutte and Hunter Henry and everybody but Diggs. So, yeah, I mean, the matchup might be better for Diggs, but I'm going to go with the player and the better offense. I would say Godwin. I'm starting Godwin. I'm starting Godwin and Ibuka this week. That's how down bad I am with either injuries, because I have Ricky Pearsall and DJ Moore's out you know, with a bye. Like, I'm down bad to the point that I'm starting both those guys, Godwin and Ibuka. So I was gonna make a Cardi joke, Matt. I was gonna make a Cardi joke. I think what it is Stephon Diggs is more, he has so much on his plate because his baby mama is hurling insults at Nicki Minaj and crashing out on the internet while she's pregnant. And he's not only dealing with the rigors of being a wide receiver, he's also dealing with a baby mama that's losing her mind right now on the internet, and it's a bad look for him. So that man he's going through it. All right. Viet, Godwin or Travis Hunter? Godwin. You can't trust Travis Hunter. You just can't. And you know what I blame this on? I blame this on the fact that they want to use him both ways. He's got to pick. He's got to pick. I know what the novelty idea was. This is why you're drafting Travis Hunter, because you want that two-way player. You got to pick. Because it's killing your fantasy. It's killing your fantasy. And there's so many people that were on Travis Hunter because he is a phenomenal wide receiver. You've got to pick, man. Like, whoever's in your camp, and I know it would piss the Jaguars off if he did say, listen, I don't want to play corner anymore because the idea was him drafting. But until he does, I can't start him. I can't play him. And you've got Godwin, who's off this injury, who, you know, we don't even know if he's on his way back. And I'm still far more bullish on that because the offense is better. And he's playing the worst, this is the worst matchup because Seattle's defense is great. But I can't play Travis Hunter. Pick a side, dude. Pick a side. It's killing us. And Stephon wants some of Nikki too. Man, you guys are on one. I know that we're vibing right now, but yeah. Dustin says, what's up, man? Pick 2, full flex, Dobbins, Pittman, Woody Marks, Michael Carter, D. McCarter. Okay. 2, I'm gonna go Dobbins. You can't go away from him. Pittman's been good, but the volume is just, it's volatile. Meaning, like, he might score, but he's not going to see, like, a bunch. That's Woody Marks' backfield now, by the way. Dobbins faces Philadelphia. Marks, I'm going to go Woody and Dobbins. You know, you feel safe with that. You know, the Ravens are about to call up their janitors to start playing. That's how banged up they are. For all the talk about the 49ers injuries, just take a look. Just take a look over there at that. And look at their injury report. Like, that is insane. Wait a minute. Pittman's playing? Yeah, he is. He's active. You were right on Swift last week. Oh, cool. Thanks. See, there you go. Good job, Viet. Appreciate you, bro. Um, yeah. So the Pittman thing is like he gets the ball here and there. He scores. Like it just I have to start him out of necessity because again Ricky Pearsall's hurt. But yeah, I would and Vegas defense isn't great, right? But he put up 15, 19. Damn. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe I need to rethink that one. But I do like Dobbins and Marks because that's guaranteed touches, right? And it's pretty valuable. So, um, give me. You know what? Ask me again in like 15 minutes. Let me think this one through in my head, man. I don't wanna. I don't wanna rush to judgment on that one, uh, because that is not a bad idea. Pittman has been very good. I just worry about the targets and all that stuff as well too, man. Oh my God, Justin Jefferson is so good. Wow. Um, Mason is a beast. Let's see. Let me get to this one real quick. Mason is a beast. Never understood why we traded him. Got Marcus Siegel. That's why. He's replaceable. Come on. He's good. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Diggs or Wan'Dale Robinson PPR. Wan'Dale. Without Malik Neighbors now? Yeah, man. Yeah. Wan'Dale. All right. Sub Jason, thank you for the donation and recovery. My lineup today is Hurts, Jency, Hampton, Ibuka, Godwin, Kelsey. You and me are both starting Godwin and Ibuka, so I'm rooting for us. Monty, Butker, and the Lions D. The guy I'm playing has CMC and Stafford. Oh! So I told you about my Scott Fishbowl team, and I told you that carries and all that stuff is very valuable, right? And I look up this week, and I looked up and I saw that I'm down 130 points. And I was like, what the hell happened? Like, how many he had 2 players playing, Christian McCaffrey and Kyren Williams. 50 and 55 from both those guys. I'm cooked this week. It sucks to know that your week is over after Thursday Night Football. Like, it just sucks. Unless my team goes bonkers, which, I mean, maybe, but I'm down, like, all my studs, basically. But you have a great lineup here. Jency, follow the volume. Hampton's going to be fine this week. He's really breaking out. Ibuka and Godwin, they're the 2 left in town. Kelsey scares me a little, but Monty, he's going to have a big week, I think, this week against that Cincinnati defense. Like, they're going to do whatever they want this week. So, let's see. Waller or Mason Taylor, I'm going to go Waller. Again, no Tyreek Hill. They're going to get him involved. They like his skill set. They're only putting him on the field to throw to him. Give me Waller. You wanna target Waller because this is the Jonnu Smith role that made Jonnu Smith so valuable last season, where he was literally a steal off the waiver wire and he was carrying teams. That's exactly what Waller is doing for them. So yeah. Mason fumbles now. We good. Let's see. I want to go Woody, but I've been having the hardest time with Pittman and Dobbins. Would you start both Pittman and Dobbins or still go Woody? I'm starting to lean a little bit more to Pittman if we're talking PPR now. So I'm going to go Pittman and Dobbins. Dobbins has been great. He had the first 100-yard rushing game in like 35 games for Denver. That's an insane stat. I like Dobbins. I understand that, Harvey's taking over the pass catching, but I like Dobbins in this game. And you know what? I'm going to go Pittman and Dobbins. I'm changing. But this is Woody. This is Woody's backfield. Pause. Michael Lino, I love the show. Thank you. No problem, bro. I appreciate you. Appreciate you getting appreciate you getting in and the kind words. And Mason still has a fumbling issue. He fumbled earlier in the game. He almost got sent away. He got taken off the field for I think like 2 drives where you just saw. That's why Cam Akers threw the touchdown to Josh Oliver, which is by far the most gross fantasy football choice ever. Yeah, no, but I mean, he's out of bounds, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. So you're telling me there's a chance? Go Niners is always a chance. Always a chance. Really excited to watch that Bucs game. That's going to be, because as much as that Rams win was like a gut check and all that stuff, and it's just like the 49ers always play the Rams like well, right? Like, I don't know. And it doesn't matter the season, doesn't matter the circumstances, but I'm really interested to see how they do this game against the Bucs because then we'll have a firm grasp on everything. Kind of wish Kittle was there so we could figure out what the hell's going on with this run game, but I'm going to have a way better handle on who the 49ers are after this Bucs game just because the 49ers always do that to the Rams. Always. It's just, I mean, it's not me. It's history. It's not even something that I'm like saying out of nowhere. Like, it's history. Those games are always close, or either the 49ers blow them out. So yeah. Fantasy football is crazy. It's never over until Monday Night Football is done. Yeah, man. Yeah. I started Stafford and Kyron Williams, but the team I'm playing had Puka. Hey, listen. All things considered, Puka had the touchdown. They could have been way worse, if that makes sense. I know you're looking at like 24 points, from Puka, but 85 yards was a season low. But he scores a touchdown. He had 8 catches. When you add it all up, that's like 22, 24 points, right? Like, so, yeah, but I'll take that. Like, if somebody told me, hey, he's only going to get 8 for 85 and a tug, I would have been like, you know what? I'll deal with it. What you can't deal with is the 20 catch, 200, like, you can't deal with those games, right? Like, so, yeah, that is not so bad. It's not so bad. Bruh, I lost Neighbors and Tyreek last week. I'm rolling. Yeah, dude, I lost Pearsall and DJ Moore to the bye week. So I'm starting Godwin, Ibuka, and Hollywood Brown. Godwin, Ibuka, and Hollywood Brown is my starting 3 wide receivers. But that's just where I am. And that's, we complain about 49ers injuries, man, but it's everywhere. And we're all feeling it with our fantasy teams. It's the same thing. So, yeah. Daniel says, hopefully it's not too hot next weekend in Tampa Bay. Really, the heat and the travel. I need Justin Jefferson to get a touchdown here as well, too, to continue to push my propaganda that he is the best wide receiver in football. The best. The best. Let's see. I'm watching it right now, too. Come on, Wentz. That's not Jefferson. Damn it. Jordan Addison. All right, I started him, too. Okay, I'll take it. I mean, when you have 7, 8, 9 leagues, you're starting everybody, like at this point. So, yeah, I'll take it. Jordan Addison was benched for the first quarter. That was scary, but I'll take the touchdown. Shout out to everybody in here, 26 people. Guys, if you have any last-minute fantasy football questions, I'm here to talk you through it, talk through the options, all that stuff. But drop a like, drop a subscribe. The 49ers can't hurt us this weekend. But we are all Bucks and Titans fans this weekend. Hopefully, they can help the 49ers out. So that's the only thing we're looking for. And we're also fact-finding this week, and we're watching other teams to figure out more and more who they are. But I'll take that Jordan Addison touchdown. Nothing sweeter than getting that sleeper update that says your player touchdown or your player big play. I really could have used that Justin Jefferson touchdown. I'd rather have that Justin Jefferson touchdown because I'm in a high stakes league, like $250 buy-in, 12 teams. So I'd rather take that one there, but it is what it is. And also I had to start Carson Wentz. I forgot about that in another dynasty league because I'm so hurt. Let's see. I sat Mac Jones because I wanted to enjoy the game with a little less stress, no regrets. We got that reality when I started Mac Jones because I was so bullish on the 49ers all week. So bullish. And I said, well, if I'm going to talk the talk, then I'm going to walk the walk. Like, if I know the 49ers are going to go out there and win, if I know that this offense is going to be rolling no matter who is there, then I might as well put my money where my mouth is. Can't all week say there's no way the 49ers are going to lose this game and I don't care who's playing and then shy away from that. So, in my case, I went right with Mac, and I feel great about that. Because I had Purdy in that league as well, too. Now, a league where I sat him is only because I had 2 better options, Kyler and Fields. But when I was faced with that same choice in another league, which is Superflex, I have Dak and I have Mac. Dak and Mac. And you also got to add, like, the rhyming stuff into it. Because if it's off vibes and it rhymes, you got to throw him in the lineup, man. So, yeah. All right, Mike says, should I drop Trevion Henderson for Dobbins? Who? Can't drop anybody else? I mean, Dobbins shouldn't be available. First of all, he's been incredible. But I wouldn't drop Henderson. I wouldn't start Henderson, but I'm not dropping him. I would try to drop somebody else, depending on who it is. Dobbins shouldn't be available, though. He shouldn't be available for you to pick up before his game at 1 o'clock. He needs to be acquired. However, so, hey, you know what I have to say? Dylan Gabriel's all right, man. Like, he's not lighting the world up, but I'm very impressed with the young man, especially against a Brian Flores defense. Like, Not bad. I mean, I understand 7 seconds and they're down four. And they got to try to score a touchdown. It's probably not going to happen. But I've been impressed with Gabriel today, man. Oh, I see. I see. I see. If that's the case, if that's the case, tell me who else is on your team. And by the way, anybody who's going to scoff at Michael for being in an 8-team league, I want to tell you this. I want you to try an 8-team league one time and how difficult it is. Because your team has to literally go off every single week because every team is loaded. Right? Like you got teams that have like Amon-Ra St. Brown and CeeDee Lamb, or like Amon-Ra and like Garrett Wilson, and like if your team doesn't go off, you lose. Everyone swears that was easy. That's easy, right? It's hard. It's hard. Every team is stacked. Some teams have like, let's see, they have like Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. Oh well, Derrick Henry hasn't been good this year. That's a bad example. They have like Christian McCaffrey and another top 4 5 running back. Like insane. Every single team is loaded, man. It's tough. And look, Robinson, Walker. I'm assuming you mean Kenneth Walker, Kyren, Henderson, Mason, Robinson. Is that Brian Robinson? If it's Brian Robinson, then drop him. You don't need him. He's I mean, I understand you want to play the handcuff game, but Dobbins needs to be started. Needs to be started. VS says Bowers is hurt. Time to put in Likely. Yeah. Cooper Rush, you're up. Oh my God, I'm scared to start my Baltimore Ravens this week. Oh, Bijan. Hell no, you're not dropping Bijan. Kenneth Walker, Williams. Yeah, you know what? Of those guys, I'm gonna drop. I would drop Travion Henderson then. I would drop Henderson. Okay, like I get it. Your team is loaded. I'm not dropping any of those other guys. But yes, J.K. Dobbins is a better option moving forward with Henderson. I would rather have him. Yeah. Gregory says 8-team league. I have Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, T-Mac, Pickens. My God, Pickens is like the number 7 wide receiver in PPR right now. Ridiculous. Crying Williams. That's pretty funny. You know what's funny is he popped all that shit about we're the big brothers now. Like, it's that Michael Jordan meme of where he's like, anybody could talk shit when they're up. He was like, let's see if you could talk that shit when it's 0-0. And him taking that victory lap on the 49ers when they were so banged up last year is the epitome of that. Is the epitome of it's easy to talk shit when you're up. Can you talk shit when it's close or before the game starts and back it up? That's why you should zip it. And you look dumb now. And they're already talking about getting Blake Corum involved now because you can't hold on to the football. Yeah. Oh man, listen. I am so high off of this 49ers win this entire week. Not only because I tried to tell everybody all week that there was no chance that they were going to lose this game and that it would have never been a blowout either way. This is how high I am. The New York Yankees got their asses whipped yesterday 10-1. And you know what I said? That's all right. We got game 2 tomorrow. We'll be fine. Not even tripping. Not even tripping. Turn it down. You lose 10-1 in game 1 of the ALDS? I don't care. You know why? Because the Niners already got me. And I'm chilling. I'm not going to lie, man. All right. Rachaad White or Shakir? Rachaad White. Just don't overthink it, dude. Rachaad White is going to get everything. And, don't overthink it. I know it's a poor matchup against Seattle, but yeah, they're going to throw it to him in the flat. He's going to be the goal line guy. You do worry that they're going to mix in Sean Tucker. I think they will. But I think they've shown that they really trust him because even when Bucky was there, he was playing. So yeah, Rachaad White, man, if you're not going to start him this week, then I don't know when you are because he's got this week and next week to be the guy. Obviously, we found out that Bucky Irving is going to miss next week too. So you got to start him. Like, this is the time, right? Like this, you had to get him. So, Ryan Reed said, about to spark up this Kyren. Yeah, get in his backwood, Kyren Williams and Los Angeles Rams. Hop in his backwood. So Jay Glazer today, and if we're gonna keep gloating, because I love gloating. If we're gonna keep gloating, Jay Glazer today said that he spoke to a bunch of players that play for the Rams, and Jay Glazer's tapped in. He's not lying. He said they were so upset with how quickly Mac Jones got the football out, and they are still stunned. They're still stunned at this game. I love it. I love it. It's the gift that keeps on giving. That has broken them. They're hurt. This one's going to sting for a long time. Now, you do worry the next time they play the 49ers that they're really going to try their best. I mean, not that they didn't try their best this time, but ooh, man, they want to get that back. But yes, ooh, man, when I heard that report, I just put my hands in front of the TV and warmed my hands up like there was a fire because I love it. I love it. They are spiraling. Whew. What a win, man. For so many different reasons. So good. So good. They were so mad. Mac Jones got him mad. Ooh, you mad. Ooh, that stings. I love it. I love it. More. Keep it coming. I love it. Shows you how much the rivalry still matters. I love seeing Sean McVay say, I blew it. That was a shit call. And then the next day say, I didn't sleep at all last night because I blew it. Yes. Yes. Woo. Good God. What a time to be a 49ers fan, huh? We might as well enjoy this now because it's still going to get rocky later on in the season. We're going to have these mind-numbing losses to deal with and everything, but I'm not thinking about that right now. Not thinking about that at all. From the season's over after the loss to Jacksonville to we're so fucking back that quickly, week-to-week league. Gotta love the NFL, the best product in the world, the best reality show in the world. Whew. The Rams fans are calling for McVay to not call plays. I made the joke that said I would fire Sean McVay, right? Because isn't that what they say about Kyle Shanahan at the end of games? Can't win with a coach like that. Baffling decision. Gotta fire him. Fire him. Get McVay to join our team as a consultant. When DeMeco gets fired, when Mike McDaniel gets fired, we're getting the band back together. Woo, man. So glad to be hanging out with you guys and just talking shit about this because we don't have anything to worry about today. Nothing. We're just Titans and Bucks fans. As a lifelong Bucks fan, I would love it if they beat the Seattle Seahawks. As a lifelong Titans fan, I think there's no better time for us to get our win than against the Arizona Cardinals this week. Hoping for both. Yeah. Lost Gross Models and Kalia Davis. Kalia Davis, it sounds like he's not going to miss a lot of time. He's just going to put the club on. So I wouldn't really. The Gross Models one, I'm really worried about. Like, he cannot miss time. He cannot. He's been so good. And people have just not seen it because it's just, there's not sacks, or anything like that. Whenever he's on the field, he's winning. He's winning. He had a 100% win rate on pass rushes last week. I don't know if you guys know, that's good. Yeah, man. Can't lose him. All right, guys, 49 minutes. And all right, look, I'm gonna stick around for 5 more minutes before the game start. And Fozzie makes a good point, giving Kyle 9 days to prep for the Bucks. Good luck, Tampa. And Kyle absolutely whips Todd Bowles' defenses. Whips. I mean, they beat them the last 2 times, right? Right, last year. And then the game in 2023 in Levi's, which I was there for. He owns Todd Bowles. Owns him. Owns his defenses. Now, you can't say the same for Jim Schwartz or Brian Flores. That's completely different. But, oh, baby, that defense is already bad. And Kyle already owns Todd Bowles. You bet your ass that I'm betting the 49ers to win this game. We're going right back to them. Just based on history. Your opinion on a possible trade for Jeffrey Simmons? Yeah, I mean, sure. Do it. But, the Titans are done. I think the team to look at, the Saints, it came out that they're in full fire sale mode. Obviously you want to keep an eye on the Bengals. The Trey Hendrickson thing is something that you always want to explore. But yeah. The Smitty, I'm gonna say this as respectfully as possible. I can say whatever I want. The Jets, the 49ers blew that game, not me. Like, they didn't lose because I thought they were gonna win. So I can do whatever I want. I could say that I expect them to beat the Bucks, and I can say it like if you're not gonna take a stance and you could say, hey, any given Sunday, then you shouldn't pick any team, any game, then right? You should have no opinion. I'm not gonna I can say whatever I want. I could say the 49ers are gonna dog them 48-0. And if they don't, that's not my fault. The players play. As long as the 49ers don't overlook them, which they won't. But yeah, I could definitely say that. I could definitely say what I want. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. I'll go crazy in here. I'll say 17-0. Never a doubt, right? Like, even though they already lost the game. But the 49ers aren't going to overlook the Bucks. Me, I'm just a yapper. I can say whatever I want. 49ers by $1 billion. Get work, Todd Bowles. Yo, I'm just having fun, man. Shout out to you guys, man. This has been a fun week, man. You know, that win Thursday, you know, you're buzzing off of that, you know, and it's just a good time. Like, you have to enjoy these little pockets of happiness with football because we don't have anything to worry about this week. You just have to. And if you don't, you know, I don't know when, you know, this is going to happen. So, the recovery says when we play the Colts, that might be a tough game for sure. And that's why when you look at the schedule and we're looking at it and we're like, the Colts, Daniel Jones is starting. Well, now look, that's definitely going to be a tough game, right? So yeah, for sure. For sure. We should have beaten Jim Schwartz's defense, but Jake Moody doesn't know we don't say his name anymore around here. Even, and this is for me. He is now referred to the kicker that shall not be named, because in this household, we stand Eddie Dinero Pinheiro. So we don't say that guy's name anymore. He's the kicker who shall not be named. This is an Eddie Pinheiro household. We stand Eddie Pinheiro. We don't say his name anymore. We do not say his name anymore. And I got to tell that to myself. I haven't thought about that guy. I haven't thought about that guy since he's been gone. I don't think about him at all. I'm glad that's over. It's like you go through a volatile relationship with an ex, right? And you're fighting and you finally decide to end it. And you unfollow her on Instagram, you block her number, you do all that, and that's how you move on. You move on with no contact at all. You don't ever think about anyone after that. And I haven't thought about that guy since he left, because I have a franchise kicker finally. And his name is Eddie Pinheiro. All right, Dustin, word this morning, Carter's the early down back. That's absolutely true. Would you consider Woody and Carter both in flex? Depends on the format. So Demercado is going to take over or stay in the pass catching role. So PPR wise, he probably has a higher ceiling. I would definitely start Woody. Depends on whoever your other options are. Carter's not bad. It's a little desperate though. It is a little desperate. Like you're just hoping that he falls into the. I love Michael Carter, by the way. This hurts me the most to say anything bad about him, but I think it's more situation. I think the world of him as a player. But Woody, it depends on who your other options are. If you could let me know the other options real quick, because you got like 7 minutes, I'll let you know. But you definitely want to start Marks. I gotta start saying Marks, not Woody. Pause. I love Kyle and John, but no more kickers in the 3rd round, please. No more kickers drafted at all. Ever. Not punters, not kickers, none of them. Nobody. Stop. Just stop. You found Pinheiro off the street. That's your way to do it. That's how everybody should do it. There's never been a time that somebody's drafted a kicker that you said that was really smart. It's really dumb. Don't draft any kickers. No rounds. Maybe the 6th or 7th, but you have such a good job. You've done such a good job finding guys in the 6th and 7th round. I wouldn't even use that. When you find people that late, you still don't use it on a kicker. I don't have any leagues that have kickers anymore because I got rid of all that nonsense, because I want to like put more skill into it by picking actual offensive players. But even when I was in kicker leagues, I wouldn't even draft a kicker. I would draft another football player and then wait for that week, try to figure out something, and then I wanted to take the upside of taking a football player because I can pick up a kicker anytime and it doesn't matter. And each week I would pick up a different one. Never understood the thought process. Dobbins and Pittman, the other option. Pittman's projection going up. Oh, yeah, that's right, Dustin. You were asking me about that. Pittman and Dobbins, I'd say, if you have to pick two. I want to play Dobbins because he's been hot, and especially against this Philly defense. And Pittman. Yeah, Pittman. Red zone, then you have to drop someone, and it sucks. So what I do is again, in my formats, right, I can drop a player that's already played off my bench. So I'll draft all those guys, right, and then wait for the Monday night game, because there's usually two of them, right, in week one, and pick up one of those guys at last minute. So, yeah, that's the way I get around that week one. That's it. After that, then, it is what it is. But I always want to try. I always want to try to stash and raise my high upside. And then I just wait till the last minute of, like, whoever's playing on Monday night, I'll pick up one of their kickers just for some extra points, just to see. Red zone, would you drop Brian Robinson? Depends. I think it's smart to kind of hold on to him. We're not going to say why, and we're not going to speak that. We're not going to speak that at all. So, but unless you have somebody that, you have your eye on the waiver wire that is going to be able to play right now, I just hold. Just hold. But we're not going to speak that. We're not going to talk about that. Okay? Look at me. No, we're not talking about that. All right? Everything's good. Everything's as good as it can be. Don't make me start drinking bleach already, and the 49ers don't even play today. Don't say stuff like that. I'm just kidding, guys. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you guys for joining and stuff like that. The recovery says, good luck. Good luck today, everyone. I'm going to make the 60-point comeback. Love the content, Jason. Hell yeah, man. I'm rooting for you, dude. And we're Godwin and Ebuka guys. So, yes. Me and you, we're going to do this. Would you drop Nick Chubb? I wouldn't, probably. I would still hold on. He's not the same guy, but I wouldn't. Even though this is Marks' backfield. I don't want to keep saying that, just feels off. I know it's funny, but I'm going to get out of here, guys. Enjoy the day. Enjoy your time. Have fun watching football. Hopefully all of your fantasy football teams, all your parlays hit, all of those things. I wish you nothing but the best of luck, and let's go Cardinals. Nope. Let's go Titans, and let's go Bucks. So I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your week, and as always, go Niners. I'll talk with y'all tomorrow.